This is Cars at 100, and I have a very interesting topic today for you. As you all aware, you know, Mazda RX7 finally, I think, is about to come out, and Toyota Supra is also finally about to come out. So I wanted to talk about why these brands, Toyota and Mazda, are holding back these cars. What is the reason behind it? Also, I wanted to include here BMW, which I'll let you know why, and why I decided to mention BMW with these cars as well. And also I wanted to talk about how Mercedes-Benz is doing something with their cars as well. So let's begin with the RX7. So RX7 lately, they said that they're gonna build rotary engine, brand new rotary engine. They're gonna bring it back. They're gonna include this in a new Mazda RX7. And I think it's gonna be interesting to see this car, because just like Audi RS3 that came out recently in United States, I think it's important with the 5 cylinders. I think just as much it is important for the Mazda to include rotary engine and bring it back to the market of United States, because nobody has a rotary engine right now. Just like 5 cylinders Audi has, nobody has a rotary engine. So I think it would be a niche thing for the Mazda to bring this engine into the car RX7, or something like, maybe it's gonna be called RX9, RX10, you know. But the point is, I think it's about time they build these cars. I think it's important. Why? Because the market is there. There is a competition. There is a following for these cars, because cars right now, RX7 and Toyota Supras, are going up in price, the old ones. So in terms of this, demand is gonna be there, and it's one of the reasons why I don't understand why these companies are not bringing and reviving these cars back. And it's gotta be a reason. So brand new car, if they release something, Toyota Supra needs to come out something that looks like FT1 concept, and I think that would be a great idea, because Toyota Supra was huge after the Fast and Furious movies. Of course, if you remember, late Paul Walker played the character of Brian O'Connor. He drove this car in a movie, and this car became famous. It blew up, and so this car is interesting. How, you know, it defined car culture. I think they need to bring this back, and they have a very big responsibility to make this car what is expected of it. For example, perfect example would be Acura NSX. It came out expensive. The car needs to compete with likes of BMW M3, M4. It needs to compete with C63 Coupe. It needs to compete with something like GTR. GTR used to compete, it was a little bit more technical, but it used to compete with M3 E46 back in the day, guys. So I think it needs to be brought back, this idea how these cars were competing between each other. They made GTR very high performance, so they made the car almost 600 horsepower now, and car has a price tag of more than $100,000. So it doesn't compete with M4 right away. You know, it competes with M4 GTS limited version of that M4. So in terms of that, they need to all compete, and they need to bring this market back. And I think the Toyota Supra is gonna, maybe it's because of the I don't know, inflation, but I think it's because of the market and how the prices started varying differently. But what I think is also these cars, they're gonna compete and they're gonna be expensive. So expect Toyota Supra and Mazda RX7, brand new ones, they're gonna cost close to $100,000. But Acura NSX right now is well over $130,000, almost $200,000 this car, which is too expensive, of course. Nissan GTR is $115,000, $120,000. Toyota Supra supposedly gonna be, I think, more than $100,000. Not sure there, maybe less, depends. Maybe it's gonna have its own niche. The thing about Toyota Supra, they share the platform with BMW Z4 for the future cars, so we'll see how it will be. Also, Mazda RX7 will be also close to $100,000. They will be smart if they keep these cars less than $100,000. It's going to be more demand for them. They're going to sell these cars better. And I think the following for these cars are still there, and brand new cars. But this responsibility thing just like Acura NSX had in the past, the car was something they needed to do correctly. They put into this car right now hybrid technology. They made this car almost $200,000, and there was no reason for that. You had to keep the car rear-wheel drive. You had to keep the car only gasoline engine. Basically no hybrid help from the side, and also you had to make GTR compete with this car in terms of the power. So this car is almost as powerful as GTR, of course, and it's faster on the track than the outgoing GTR right now, but the price is ridiculous. It's almost $200,000. So responsibility thing was kind of fulfilled and kind of not. Following is kind of disappearing for the Acura NSX. If they're gonna bring this car in future, they need to bring this car properly and more correctly, less in value, in money. It has to have more value later on, not at the point of the sale. So in terms of the Mazda RX-6, I think this car has a huge following with rotary engines. There is a special blogs on the internet. There are countless blogs that talk about rotary engines. They need this car, and Mazda finally needs to come up with this car, and they're probably expected to be in 2019, 2020. 2020 should be the latest of this car's release date, because it's been for too long, guys. Honestly, me personally, I kind of feel like it's been too long, and I don't know if people gonna wait so long. Maybe as longer you wait, as better, you know, you're gonna expect this car to be. But a perfect example would be if I jump into the racing game, for example. Gran Turismo has been doing racing games for a long time. People expect this game to be once in 6 years, once in 5 years. But when this game comes out, it's kind of not the same to wait for this game so long, and kind of you demand out of this car something that would be nice, but it ends up being something that you don't like, and most of it you don't like. Sounds something else, you know. So you need to release these cars. That's it. That's my gripe. That's what I think that needs to be done in terms of delivering these cars to the people who love them, who follow these cars, who want to have the pleasure of driving the modern counterparts of their idols. So it's very important in terms of that. And also, why I wanted to bring BMW into this, because BMW shares the platform with Supra. So that means the car is gonna have BMW engineering in it, which is good and bad at the same time. Good because car by BMW engineers gonna be good, probably in a proposition of speed, in proposition of engine. They're gonna have a very good maybe suspension layout, something going on. But I think Toyota can offer that, and as well as BMW. I think, in my opinion, Toyota has a huge history with their racing cars as well. Also, bad is why these companies share the platform. Hopefully it's not gonna be like some other car companies sharing the platform. Hopefully Supra is not gonna be worse than BMW Z4 that they share the platform together. Hopefully one is not gonna look cheaper than the other, so you choose the Z4. I wish it had one car, one platform, and especially for that Supra, because Supra is pretty special. So that's negative, I think, about it. But we'll see how it will be when it releases. In terms of the RX7, RX7 has to come out with something. I think also in terms of the BMW, not RX7. I wanted to mention not BMW, I mean Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz has to release something that will compete with something in future in terms of the other cars. I think Mercedes-Benz AMG division has something in store, of course, and they need to bring something that's gonna be entry level. Maybe C63 could be something that will compete with just like back in the day, so it doesn't cost that much money. It will compete with something that is counterpart of Supra and RX7. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I think too much of this company, maybe they are too elite to bring out something that will compete with Supra and RX7 and NSX and the GTR. But I think they have something right now that competes with their own niche. C63 competes with M3, and M3, I think if they bring something more powerful in terms of M3 that would compete with RX7 and Supra would be also interesting. So this was my topic for today. I hope you liked it, and please stay tuned, and there's a lot more content we have in store for you, and keep on checking out our channel Cars at 100. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.